The Human Canary, Video 5, The Myth of Vaccinations and Autism. When a problem with medical research is discovered, the outcome is rarely broadcast to the public. The initial research may have generated media headlines such as "Miracle Cure for Cancer Found." But when the result doesn't translate into treatment at a local clinic because later research has dismissed the findings of the original study, it sinks quietly into oblivion. Follow-up queries will be answered vaguely. It will take years of testing. It has to be FDA approved, and this takes time. The fact is, the medical community has no real interest in showing their dirty laundry to the public for a variety of reasons. People may become disenchanted with mainstream medicine and pursue homeopathic alternatives. The public response may impact upon future research funding. Patients may self-diagnose themselves via the internet or just neglect any medical treatment at all. Andrew Jeremy Wakefield is a British former gastroenterologist and medical researcher. He is known for his fraudulent 1998 research paper published in The Lancet, which supported the now discredited claim that there was a link between the administration of measles, mumps and rubella MMR vaccine and the appearance of autism, that is, pervasive developmental disorder in children, and bowel disease. On the 6th of February 2010, The Lancet retracted the article from its published record. Mumps is, like measles and rubella, a virus and is extremely infectious. In the UK alone, the incidence of mumps in 2005 was 43,378, up from 8,129 the previous year. From January the 1st to April 4th, 2019, 465 individual cases of measles have been confirmed in 19 states. This is the second greatest number of cases reported in the US since measles was eliminated in 2000. There is no doubt the rise in cases of measles, mumps and rubella has been assisted by unvaccinated people. On the 28th of January 2010, a 5-member statutory tribunal of the British General Medical Council, the GMC, conducted an inquiry into allegations of misconduct against Wakefield and 2 former colleagues. Wakefield was found guilty of 12 counts of causing mentally challenged children to undergo a program of invasive investigations, e.g. colonoscopies and lumbar punctures, for research purposes without having ethics committee approval for such research. Another 36 charges were proved, including 4 counts of dishonesty. The GMC further found Wakefield showed a callous disregard for the distress and pain that he knew, or ought to have known, the children involved in the research might suffer. Subsequently, Wakefield was struck off the UK Medical Register and was barred from practicing medicine in the UK. In 2011, a report in the British Medical Journal indicated Wakefield received more than £435,000, about $674,000, from lawyers trying to build a case against vaccine manufacturers. A serious conflict of interest he failed to disclose. Most of his co-authors abandoned the study in 2004 when those payments were revealed. Further research failed to reproduce Wakefield's finding or confirm his hypothesis of an association between the MMR vaccine and autism, or even gastrointestinal disease. However, by this time, news of Wakefield's research findings had become public, initially picked up and spread by the media, later perpetuated by conspiracy theorists that preyed upon the credulous and gullible by indicating various governments had a vested interest in spreading autism amongst the population. This caused panic amongst hundreds of thousands of parents, leading to a sharp drop in the number of children getting the MMR vaccine that prevents measles, mumps and rubella. Vaccination rates dropped sharply in Britain after its publication, falling as low as 80% by 2004. Measles cases in the UK have risen sharply in the ensuing years. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, in the United States, more cases of measles were reported in 2008 than in any other year since 2007. More than 90% of those infected had not been vaccinated, or their vaccination status was unknown, the CDC reported. This corresponding rise in measles and mumps has resulted in serious illnesses and deaths. Despite these damning statistics, Wakefield's continued warning against the vaccine have contributed massively to a climate of distrust of all vaccines, and inevitably the re-emergence of other previously controlled diseases such as poliomyelitis, human papillomavirus, hepatitis A and B, tuberculosis, etc., etc. Wakefield has continued to defend his research and conclusions, saying there was no fraud, hoax or profit motive. In February 2015, he publicly repeated his denials and refused to back down from his assertions. In 2016, Wakefield directed the anti-vaccination program propaganda film Vaxxed, From Cover-Up to Catastrophe. The film purports to show an appalling cover-up committed by the government agency charged with protecting the health of American citizens, the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. An alarming deception that has contributed to the skyrocketing increase of autism and potentially the most catastrophic epidemic of our lifetime. The film was withdrawn from New York's 2016 Tribeca Film Festival after the festival's founder, Robert De Niro, who has a child with autism, reversed his decision to include it. Wakefield called this action censorship. Ian Lipkin, Professor of Epidemiology and Director of the Center for Infection and Immunity at Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health, writing in the Wall Street Journal, said, "If Vaxxed had been submitted as a science fiction, it would merit attention for its storyline, character development and dialogue. But as a documentary, it misrepresents what science knows about autism, undermines public confidence in the safety and efficacy of vaccines, and attacks the integrity of legitimate scientists and public health officials." Is vaccination effective? Some 2.5 billion children have been immunized against polio, and reported cases of wild polio have dropped from 350,000 in 1988 to just over 200 in 2012. Just 3 countries remain endemic for wild polio virus: Afghanistan, Nigeria and Pakistan, where often achieving vaccination targets are very difficult due to cultural objections. The sight of a child suffering from poliomyelitis, exhibiting loss of reflexes, loose and floppy limbs and severe muscle weakness is a very unpleasant experience indeed. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to continue to dispel the myths surrounding medicine. It's the little image of a Neanderthal on the bottom right of your screen. Also, please indicate whether you like or dislike this video. Thank you.